Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. As I said at the beginning of the season, if some of you remember, or maybe some of you were here, I said going into the season I had some fears and I had some concerns about this particular Brooklyn Nets team. I felt as if they were somehow going to be derailed by some type of drama, and that is exactly what happened. The big three of Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving ended up playing a grand total of 16 games. They essentially didn't play together at all. And to me, I think it was a total failure for that specific trio. Not the team. I'm talking about the combination of those three players. We just didn't get a chance to see what they could actually do. They're in a situation in which they've traded away James Harden, and now they're a 2.5 big three. They're a 2.5 three, not a big three. We're not going to pretend that Ben Simmons is on the level of James Harden, and it's one of the reasons why the Brooklyn Nets were able to get so much for James Harden, because you can clearly see who was worth more, right? They were willing to give away more because they thought that he was worth more. And today, one of our viewers on Instagram, his name is, Eric, I have his name here, Eric Square, actually sent us an article from fadeawayworld.net, and it actually surprised me. Some of the things that I got from this article. So you guys can definitely go check it out there. But essentially, I want to read what this article said, because it really gets into the backstory, what happened between James Harden and Kyrie Irving. So the article starts off with the headline: Kyrie Irving reportedly wanted James Harden traded from the Brooklyn Nets. James Harden has recently been traded for Ben Simmons, and it was clear from previous reports that James Harden was looking for change, and the Brooklyn Nets have granted him that. While James Harden was probably happy he got traded to the Philadelphia 76ers, it seems as though some others were happy to see him go. John Vorden of The Athletic has recently revealed that Kyrie Irving was eager to see the James Harden trade come to fruition when he heard that Harden was in fact hoping to get traded. They continued on. Irving was ready for Harden to move on too. When Irving heard Harden was in fact hoping to be traded, a well-placed source says he was eager to see that come to fruition. I also read an article from a source that escapes me at the moment, escapes my memory. And basically what that article said, entailed was, they said there was a scenario, there was a story which, during some road games, Kyrie Irving would burn sage in various opposing teams' locker rooms. You even saw him do that, I believe it was on the court of the Boston Celtics. You saw him kind of pacing around the court doing that, just to get rid of negative karma, whatever the case is. And on one particular occasion, he was doing that in one of the locker rooms. And according to sources, James Harden was also in the locker room when he was doing that. And I think James Harden was on opposing ends of the room, and he was staring at, and according to the source, they said James Harden was staring at Kyrie Irving like he was a freaking bear. Like he was just totally, it seemed according to what the source said, that James Harden was apparently put off by Kyrie Irving, like the person, right? And some of the things that he did. Now, here's my thoughts on this situation after reading that article and giving you guys kind of about that story, of what I just said there. Here are my thoughts. I'm siding with James Harden in this particular story. Some of you guys are going to disagree. You have 100% right to disagree with me, but I'm going to say exactly what I think, because no two people are the same, and I'm not following anybody. I'm not going to follow what other people feel. I'm going to say what I feel. I'm siding with James Harden for this reason. Number one, you guys invited me to come play with you. I wasn't happy in Houston. I was trying to get out. You guys said, hey, come over, let's play together. Now, do I know if it's exactly, it was something like that. We certainly know, due to reports, that Kyrie was the one that influenced Kevin Durant to go to Brooklyn, because Kevin Durant initially, I think, wanted to go to the Knicks. Nevertheless, you guys were already there, meaning Kevin Durant and Kyrie, and you guys said, hey, let's play together. So I come over there, and I start playing games with you, and I'm doing my best. And some will say, you didn't come here in the greatest of shape. Totally fair, and that is a fair criticism. I didn't come in the best shape of my life. But at least I played all the games that I possibly could when I was healthy. I never didn't play when I wasn't healthy. Remember, you guys recruited me to come and play with you. Then we hear about a vaccine mandate in the state of New York, and maybe what some of you guys may not be aware of, what we don't know is, maybe I was against it too. We don't know if James Harden was for or against taking the vaccine. What I do know was initially a lot of NBA players were a bit trepidatious, and I think LeBron was quiet about the entire thing for a long time. And we even did a video where Stephen A. Smith went on CNN and was basically advocating for LeBron to speak up about the vaccine, given the fact that he's the face of the NBA. So we don't know if Harden was for or against it. All we know is that he took it. The question is, why did he take it? Because he had to take it in New York. Let's not forget that. He had to, otherwise he wouldn't be able to play. And as a matter of fact, everyone else did take it. All the guys you see playing is because they were vaccinated, therefore they are able to play. Okay, so that's that. And I'm assuming he did it because he wanted things to work out. If he was against it vehemently, he would have said, I'm not taking it. And I don't care if we don't win. I'm not taking it. Nevertheless, he did. The other guy took his, and the other guy refused. Then the team said, the other guy, in this case, Kyrie Irving, has to be a full-time player. This is ridiculous. We covered that story. They said, this is ridiculous. You cannot be a part-time player. And although Kyrie Irving, it wasn't Kyrie saying, I want to be a part-time player. It wasn't Kyrie that said that. It was the mandate that created that scenario in which Kyrie Irving could not play because they said you had to be vaccinated. So fine, they said he couldn't play. So otherwise, you can't be a part-time player because it didn't make any sense. Then we later find out through Kyrie himself with his own two lips, he said that a lot of people feel like I'm against it. He said, I'm not against being vaccinated. Instead, he is not being vaccinated because he is in lockstep with those who were unfairly let go of from their jobs because they were forced to get the vaccine. We all understand that. What we're doing is we're removing the emotion out of all of this and we're chronicling this clearly. So that's what happened. So my question at that point is this. What does your stand, if I'm James Harden, what does your stand have to do with me and the rest of the guys here? I'm speaking from the standpoint of James Harden. You decide you want to do this. Great. But bro, that position you're taking has nothing to do with us here. That is a personal decision you are making that is affecting the rest of us. Remember, you told me to come here. I'm here. I'm playing. We agreed that we were going to do this together. You decide that you're going to take that stance, not because you are against it, and a lot of people supporting Kyrie, because they feel he's against it. Newsflash, he's not. What he is against, it's what it has done to the people who refused to take it and that lost their jobs. He has said it. So he refuses. He said, "Listen, I'm not going to do it. Do it." Then the team turns around and reverses their decision of saying you cannot be a part-time player to now you can be a part-time player. Meanwhile, we are losing games left and right because Kyrie's only available on road games. All of this created, this mess created by the leadership or lack thereof of the Brooklyn Nets. So it leads me to this question if I'm James Harden. What am I supposed to say? Why exactly would I want to be in a situation like this? How is this situation beneficial to me at all? What am I gaining by being a part of this mess? It is a total mess. I understand that he's out of shape. We get that entirely. And I never thought James Harden was that dude in the playoffs anyway, because of history. But in this particular instance, we're looking at the fact of why he wanted to leave. Now, according to that report, it said that Kyrie Irving would be happy, would have been delighted at the idea of him leaving. Why? Why would you be delighted at the idea of James Harden leaving? James Harden this season played 44 games for the Brooklyn Nets. That's 4 less than Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving combined. Combined. And y'all would be happy to lose him for what? What would be the reason? He was the one that was pretty much available all the time. And nevertheless, he decided to leave. My question is this. Why wasn't Kyrie Irving forced to make a decision? And I'm talking about a definitive decision. Because people are talking about they may move the mandate, they may change the mandate. We've been saying this since 2021, bro. We're in 2022, we're in February. We're still hoping, but we don't know if it's going to happen. Last time we heard from the New York City mayor, he said that he wasn't interested in talking about it. That's when he took office. So now you're in a situation in which James Harden is gone. And what has happened is the Nets are still there with a leadership structure that seems totally incompetent and indecisive. That's what the Nets look like in all of this. If it was me, I would have traded Kyrie Irving. Some people say, well, what would you? I would have traded, let me say it again. I would have traded Kyrie Irving. I would have kept James Harden. And I would have kept them with Kevin Durant. That's what I would have done. I would have done that. Because now what has happened is you have lost Harden and replaced him with a lesser player. Although you got other pieces, the main player in that deal was Harden for Ben Simmons. And nobody in their right mind would say that Ben Simmons, or they would rather have Ben Simmons over James Harden straight up. Nobody in their right mind would say that. And now the situation still seems to be unclear to me. So according to this article, I think that there were a lot of mistakes that the Brooklyn Nets leadership made. The leadership structure made a lot of mistakes. And it shows me that the Nets are full of talent with absolutely zero leadership structure. Zero. It is a mess there, in my personal opinion.